Hello and welcome. July 1st marks the 50th anniversary of a beloved landmark of our city, the Anna Flyover or the Gemini Flyover as it is more popularly known. On this occasion, let us see what is the history behind this icon. It is not a very big flyover. Today, you have much larger structures all over the world and even in our country. This is just 1,500 feet long, 48 feet in width. A very small piece of work. But what makes it so special? It was South India's first flyover. And it was India's third flyover, the first two having been erected in Bombay city. The idea of putting up a flyover at this location was a very old one. It was in 1948 that the Madras Corporation first came up with such a plan. It suggested a flyover to be constructed from Gemini Circle, going all the way up to Island Grounds near Central Station. Just imagine if it had been constructed, what it would have been like, how Mount Road would have changed completely. But that did not happen. Lack of funds prevented such a plan from getting executed. Thereafter, the idea was revived only in 1965, when the Madras police conducted a study and found that in the peak hours in the morning between 8 and 10, around 9,000 vehicles crossed this particular junction and there were enormous traffic snarls. Traffic snarls by the standards of those times. If they had looked at what happens today, they would have perhaps never built a flyover on that spot. But then they came to the conclusion that a flyover was needed and the idea was revived. Till 1969, nothing much happened. And finally, it was only in 1970 that under the fourth five-year plan that money was allotted for the construction of such a flyover or grade separator. The tender was awarded to East Coast Construction and Industries Private Limited, a company belonging to the Buhari Group in Chennai city. Several years ago, in 1948, as I told you, the Corporation of Madras had put up a plan for the execution of a flyover. The man who had drafted that plan was the corporation engineer, Miran Sahib. After having retired from the corporation, he had joined East Coast Construction and Industries as its technical director. And it is one of the wonders of Chennai history that the same man was available to complete and execute the plan that he had drafted 25 years earlier in the Madras Corporation, but now in a private capacity. Miran Sahib, by then Haji Miran Sahib, had created a patented design which minimized the use of cement and steel for the construction of such a flyover. And it was that design that would finally go into execution. The original draft plan was for construction that would last for 24 months and a cost of rupees 75 lakhs. And such was the honesty of that time that East Coast Construction and Industries Private Limited and Miran Sahib completed the construction in 21 months and at a cost of rupees 66 lakhs. There was a saving of 5 lakhs as compared to the plan. This was because of his minimal use of cement and steel. The entire structure consumed 3,700 tons of cement, which came from the Tamil Nadu government's cement factory. Its Arasu brand of cement was used. 900 tons of steel was used in the construction. Work began in 1971. And there was enormous excitement all over South India. That year, the Republic Day parade in Madras city featured a tableau which had a model of the Gemini flyover. An enormous crowd gathered to see that particular float. By 1972, an important section of the flyover was completed, and that was the portion that runs between G.N. Chetty Road and Mount Road. In April 1972, traffic was allowed to flow for the first time onto the section of the flyover. But Chennai people or Madras people were going over a flyover for the first time. The police, therefore, decided to be abundantly cautious. It created a one-way system. In the morning, the traffic would go from GN Chetty Road to Mount Road, and in the evening, the traffic would come from Mount Road to GN Chetty Road. This ran for 2 months, and finally, that portion of the flyover was opened for two-way traffic. Work then began on the eastern part of the flyover, which comprised the curving portion that goes into Mount Road and the sharp curve that descends into Nungambakam High Road. Both of these were completed by June 1973. It was only then that the question came up as to how to illuminate this flyover. Till then, we had lamp posts of standard height. But now we would need illumination which would throw light on the flyover and on the road going down below. For the first time, Tamil Nadu, or for that matter even South India, saw what a high-length mast or a high-mast lamp would look like. This was brought in at a cost of 11 lakhs and then installed and still remains at that place. The flyover cost 66 lakhs. The high-mast lamp cost 11 lakhs. You can imagine how important it must have been. During the construction of the flyover, there were traffic diversions. When you read news reports, it is almost as though you're reading about a traffic diversion for the metro rail. For instance, if you were coming from Nungambakam High Road onto Mount Road, you would have to go into Rutland Gate, Shafi Mohammed Road, Graham's Road, and finally into Mount Road. People grumbled, but they had to put up with it till the construction was completed. In June 1973, work was finally over, and it was time for a grand inauguration. On July 1st, 1973, the inaugural function took place. You must be wondering where it took place. Even today, when you come down this flyover, curving into Nungambakam High Road, you will find that there's a park in the middle. It was in that park that the inaugural function took place, and the then Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Thiru Mu Karunanidhi, declared the flyover open. He was asked as to what the flyover was going to be named, and he said it would be named after his mentor and the former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, C.N. Annadurai. So it became the Anna flyover. But such is the love that Tamil Nadu has for cinema that Gemini Studios close by became a bigger landmark. Today it's almost 50 years since Gemini Studios closed. But even now we still refer to the place as the Gemini Flyover. Another question was asked to Mr. Karunanidhi. Will any statues be put up on either side of the flyover? It must be remembered that just 2 years or 3 years prior to this, when Thiru Annadurai was Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, the state had played host to the Second World Tamil Conference, and a series of statues had come up in 1968-69 all along the Marina Beach. And therefore, this question was posed to the Chief Minister. And he said 2 statues of horses rearing and a rider reining them in would be executed to stand on both sides of the flyover. The reason for this was, it was that year his government had taken a decision to ban horse racing in Tamil Nadu. The 2 statues were eventually put up. By then, horse racing was back in the city, but the statues have remained. In recent years, WhatsApp University claims that those 2 statues are based on Banditavan, the hero of Kalki's novel Ponniyin Selvan. This is absolute fiction. During the time that the statue was contemplated and executed, neither did Thiru Karunanidhi nor did the press of that time ever report on such a possibility. Therefore, it is one of those stories that keep coming up in public circulation. Shortly after the inauguration of the flyover, by 9 p.m. that night, traffic was allowed to move on it. It was again a very sensitive issue. The motorists of Chennai were unused to going up onto a flyover, adhering to curves, turns, twists and things like that. So it is said that the Commissioner of Police, K.R. Shenoy, was present himself to direct the traffic. But then everything moved ahead and the flyover was into action. By October 1973, Sri M.G. Ramachandran had broken away from the DMK and formed his ADMK. One of his first proposals or requests to the government was that a statue for Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy should be put up in that small park where the inaugural function had happened. Karunanidhi was not happy with the idea. He rejected it initially. In fact, he made a public statement that Periyar Thidal was where Periyar would be honored. Later, he had a change of mind, and the statue for Thandai Periyar came up. It still stands in that particular park, and you can see it when you're coming down the Anna Flyover. In 1981, MGR, then in power, hosted yet another World Tamil Conference. This was in Madurai, and it was held in the racecourse of Madurai town. He then made an announcement that the two equestrian statues on either side of Anna Flyover would be removed and transported to Madurai. Later, that idea was given up, and even today, the statues remain where they are. Do you know that in 1971-72, when this flyover was being constructed, the government even debated on whether it should be made a toll road so that the revenue received could defray some of the expenses in the construction? Today, toll roads are all across the place, all over all the highways. But at that time, the government feared public backlash and gave up that idea. With all these twists and turns and history behind it, Anna Flyover came into existence. And it has remained in the service of the public for 50 years. There has hardly been any major breakdown or repair work that has been conducted apart from routine maintenance. This highlights the quality of the design of Sri Miran Sahib, that corporation engineer who once dreamt of a flyover at Gemini Circle. And he lived to see it completed. Let us wish Anna Flyover or Gemini Flyover a happy birthday, and let us hope that it will remain in the service of this city for several decades to come. Bye for now.